Okay, so today I'm going to give you one of the best analogies I have ever had. And if you've ever read any of my books, you know that I use tons of metaphors and analogies in my writing. Why? Because it's the way I think, and because when I deal with scientific stuff quite a bit, I like to simplify it. And I never use the term dumb it down because I take offense to that, right? I'm not dumb. It's just that I'm asleep halfway through a journal, so I know other people aren't reading it. So it's kind of, I feel like it's my self-appointed mission to learn everything I can about the science of reality creation, which also includes studying, ancient scripture and all that stuff. And then I bring it through my own filter, that is this brain called Tamara, and I meditate and I come up with analogies. And so back when I wrote Imagine That, which thousands of people read, by the way, I had this analogy, but I didn't realize until very recently that it was an incomplete analogy. Still accurate as the day I wrote it, but I'm going to tell it to you, and then I'm going to explain it in an expanded version so that you can apply it. Because I'm telling you, I promise you, as sure as you're listening to this, I guarantee you that this is what works. Everything else that you buy or study or read, I'm sure has a good effect, but this is what works, and it is the truth. Okay, no matter how different people put it across, it is the truth. Okay, so the original analogy in my book Imagine That went like this. If you're in a movie theater and you're looking at a film that you don't like, you don't throw popcorn at the screen, because you know that the screen is just sitting there being a screen. You know that the movie being portrayed on the screen is coming from that projection room with that little tiny window in the back of the theater that no one ever pays attention to unless it's not working. The analogy, again, is still accurate, really represents our reality, because we know, and I'm not even going to substantiate this with going back to millions of authorities, well, thousands of authorities who've said this, from ancient scripture to most modern quantum physics, that reality as we know it is an outpicturing of our inner reality. Okay? So we know that our life, our external reality, is just a projection of what's going on in here. Yet what do we do as humans? We sit there and we throw popcorn at the screen. We join Facebook groups and we complain. We worry, we stress out, we yell at our kids and loved ones. The people we love most, we yell at because they just don't understand what stress we're under right now. But all we're doing is reacting to what we have already created. And I was just telling my group this morning, I don't normally listen to a lot of channeled stuff because I'm not a big fan. I'm very skeptical, science brain. But who's the channel? Bashar. His name's Daryl something, and he's the channel for Bashar. And he had a quote in something I was reading, and it was really profound because it said, your reality doesn't support you. You support your reality. And I'm like, so brilliant, right? Because we look for our reality to show us signs that it's changing. Our reality is waiting for us to change it. There's no signs. You do the changing. Okay, so how did I elaborate on this analogy to where it's easier? Because like I said, a lot of people read that and commented on it or send me notes about it and say, I love that analogy about the movie screen and but how do I change a projector? Which led me to really dive into how do we change the film. And so this is my life's work. I've been doing this for I don't know how many years. I'm obsessed with it. I think about it. I read about it. I watch videos on it. I do research on it. I write books about it. I coach on it. This is my thing right here, is understanding this and learning to apply the most effective ways, from energy medicine to coaching to hypnotherapy, to get people to understand how to make this change. Okay. And I'm a work in progress too. I'm not trying to say that I'm not. But I have made so many miracles in my own life, and I want to be able to understand how I did it. And so that's why I read the research. All right. Sorry, I will stop rambling now. So you're in the movie theater. You're looking at a film that you don't really want to watch. Hopefully you have not created a life that you hate. So I'm not going to say a horror film, but let's just say you're not usually into, I don't know, documentaries about caterpillars, in black and white, no less. So that film is up there and you don't like it. So you know now from the earlier analogy that it's not the screen that you're going to get mad at. You're going to march your fanny in to the projector room. Now this theater is your life. You're locked in here. This is it. You can't just say, well, I'm just going to go out and go to the theater next door because over there they're playing, a new Disney film. No, you are stuck in this theater. And so you go back up into the room, up in the projection room, and you see that the walls are lined with all those big silver metal cases. The walls are just lined with them. And you're like, wait, I can pick out my own film? And I would say yes. And I would add that make sure it's a film that's near and dear to your heart. In other words, don't pick out a film about how to win a marathon running if you have no interest and no passion for running. So most people who I coach with, and most people in general, want more money. And so let's look at it like that. Let's just say wealth. Okay, maybe through your business, maybe through your investments, maybe whatever, but you want wealth. And hopefully you're taking some sort of action towards it that makes you happy. So you find the film that says wealth. Now you're going to put it on a projector, in a projector. The projector is your imagination. I'm not going to just say your mind because that's a little too, it's not substantial enough. I'm going to say your imagination. So you're going to put the wealth film on the projector, in the projector, which is your imagination. Okay, you got it on there? Now you peer out the little window at the big screen down in the theater, and it's still that dang caterpillar documentary in black and white. And you're like, what the heck? So there's two things. First of all, you have to turn off the current movie. And second of all, you have to turn on the new one. And this is where people get stuck. This is where I was stuck for decades. But this is the key. Okay? How do you turn off the movie? Well, I'd like to say it's as easy as pushing a button. And it is if you understand and accept that pushing the button off means withdrawing your attention and emotions with what is on the screen. And this is really challenging. In fact, it's the reason that people go to therapy and coaching, because that's the challenge. How can I create a new reality when I have all these bills and I live with this guy and he's a creep and my boss is a jerk? But you can't push the off button, and you never can turn the on button on the good one if you don't understand how the off button works. And the off button is to withdraw your attention and to not react with your emotion. I'm not saying stick your head in the sand and ignore when Uncle Sam says, by the way, you owe us money. I'm not saying that. But imagine if you were a robot and you got a letter from Uncle Sam saying you owe us $7,000. A robot would say, does not compute. How do I figure this out? And it would look for a payment plan, or it would look for a credit card without emotion. It would take care of business, but it wouldn't join a Facebook group. It wouldn't write a big old long letter to the IRS. If action needs to be taken, I had something like that from the IRS for $10,000, $12,000, and I knew it was wrong, but I stopped the emotional reaction. I called my CPA. She wrote a letter, and it all went away. And it could have just as easily turned into red tape where I would have to pay it. Guaranteed. So you withdraw your attention. You also have to understand that all of your emotions, and this is new in my new book, I'm talking about this for the first time ever, the fact that all of your reactive emotions come from your unconscious and are based on the past. Think about it. It's based on the past. That's why people have such a hard time manifesting, because when we manifest, we have to find emotions for what hasn't happened yet. And if we have no reference point for that, it's freaking hard. But we're trying here to not have emotions to things that have already happened, that we've already had emotions to, which is tricky stuff. Okay? But that's the answer to the off button. You've got to withdraw your attention to the extent that you handle what you need to handle, but you don't spiral out of control and lose sleep over it and complain about it, and and you manage your emotions. I don't care if you do EFT. I don't care if you go to the beach, but you have to withdraw your attention and reduce your negative emotions. Okay? That's the off button. Over here, the wealth film that you want to play, that you want to see on the big screen, you have to push the on button. How do you push the on button? Same way that you did the off button, but in reverse. You give it your attention. You give it your emotions. That is the on button right there. You are giving it your attention and your emotions. And when you do that, you're going to look out and you're going to start seeing little blips. In fact, what it'll be, in most cases, in my experience, is you'll see the caterpillar film, the black and white that you just want to stop watching, and then you'll see a colored picture of you drinking champagne on a beach. And then you look again, and it may be back to the caterpillar one, but you're like, okay, this is working. Now I'm cultivating faith. Now I'm cultivating knowing. A certainty in science. I'm cultivating this. And you just keep withdrawing, giving, withdrawing, giving, withdrawing, giving. And before you know it, you're going to be able to leave that projection room without worrying about the caterpillar film coming on anymore. And we don't want to worry anyway, because that'll keep it on. We're going to go back downstairs and we're going to plant our butts in the seat, and we're going to say, this is what I wanted to see. This is what I wanted to watch. And we're going to give gratitude, and we're going to give excitement, and we're going to be so overjoyed and happy, because now we have the secret sauce, the real secret sauce to manifesting. And all the other stuff that we do, inner peace work, calming down our nervous systems, super important for helping us withdraw attention and apply attention. All the other stuff is great. Scripting, hypnotherapy, all of it. I'm not knocking any of it. But I'm telling you that it's all there for this simple scenario. That's what it's there for. You want to relax your nervous system, so you go to a yoga retreat. Excellent. Because that's going to help you not be so reactive and learn to apply your attention. All the things that you can do, like breath work. I'm big on breath work. Why? Because it gets the trauma out of your body. It gets the stress out of your system. It helps you be less reactive. So whatever you need to do, maybe it's coaching, maybe it's a class. I don't know. Maybe it's a hike. But whatever you need to do, it's not a one and done. Because if you just go to the projector room and you think you can, okay, I'm withdrawing attention and I'm not going to be reactive with what I see, what I've already created, and I'm going to sit here for a half hour and envision and get excited about this new reality I want to create, and then it's not done. How many decades have you been watching that film? It's been running on autopilot. It's going to take more than a hot minute to turn this one off and to turn this one on. Okay, so hopefully you found that analogy helpful, because I promise you it has so much to do with your success in manifesting. Anyway, thanks for watching. Please subscribe. Look at the links before. Give me a comment. I love to hear from people, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye for now.